All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rikakwadash. Double honor to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone who do rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to all you Akim out there pushing this truth across the four winds so we can seal the elect and make it to the kingdom. All right, it's the brother Yara. Lord willing, coming back to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Lord willing to feed the body and edify the sheep in all spirit, faith, truth, sincerity, and doctrine. All right. And as you can see with the title, all right, the pursuit of craftiness. All right. And of course, this is a play. We were, me and the brethren, we did midweek camp, and it just came, through the spirit, and it's a play off the movie. All right. With Will Smith, the movie Pursuit of Happiness. Okay. All right. But in this case, we're talking about the wicked. Okay. And the wicked is Esau, Edom. All right. The so-called white man, woman, and child, beginning with the elite banking families. All right. Including Amalek. Okay. The small hat, big nose people over there in the Holy Land. Okay. And they are definitely on a pursuit of craftiness. Okay. So I just want to bring out some information. All right. Along with some precepts, of course. All right. And Lord willing, it's edifying to the body and it feeds the sheep through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. All right. Now, first and foremost, let me see. I'm going to share the screen here. All right. So first and foremost, as you can see here, all right, the book of, I just typed in crafty, excuse me, in the Blue Letter Bible. All right. The app, and 4 precepts popped up, but I'm going to focus on these top 3 here. Okay. Now the book of St. Job, chapter 5, verse 12. All right. And it reads, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty. All right. So that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. All right. So I want to go into this word crafty. Okay. Because this is who disappointed the devices of the crafty. Okay. The crafty is the wicked. All right. Esau, Edom. Okay. And he that disappointeth the devices of the crafty is the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through his son, Yahushai. All right. So he disappointeth the devices, all right, of the crafty. Okay. And this MOTB, all right, this Charagma, this mark of the beast, RFID chip, okay, and this beast system, okay, are the crafty devices of the wicked. Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me go into this here. All right. So I'm going to go into the word crafty. All right. Give it a little second for it to load. All right. Baba Kasha. All right. There it is. All right. St. Job again. St. Job 5 and 12. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Okay. All right. And when you go into that word crafty, okay, you get the Hebrew word, all right, arawam, okay, irawam, okay, irawam, okay, and it goes into subtile, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible, okay, shrewd, all right, prudent, but on the left hand side, okay, through wickedness, all right, and that's what this devil is doing, okay. He's creating, he has created an issue, all right, or a problem, okay, in which he already had a solution to, okay, all right. Remember, the scriptures talk about things that he has prescribed, okay. He already had it pre-written. He already had it designed to come in as the solution, okay. Like this whole, so-called immigration thing. Well, the illegal immigrants getting into the country illegally, all right, and so-called, performing all of these different crimes, right, making it so hard for the nation, right, and then they swoop in and say, you know what, we have the antidote. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. Okay. And in the midst of that, what are they doing? They're presenting this digital IDs. Okay. You know, are you a citizen of this nation? Prove it. You know, that's pretty much what they're saying. Like that movie, was that movie Civil War that came out what, a year or two ago? All right, when those Americans came up to that soldier and they said, "Oh no, it's okay, we're Americans," and he looked at him and said, "Well, what kind of Americans are you? You know, you see, are you the good guys or are you the bad guys? So that's what they're essentially saying. You know, where if you're a citizen, prove it. You know, all right, and if you refuse to take these digital IDs, okay, you can't work. All right, you can't work. You can't pay bills. You can't make a living. You can't live. You can't survive. You see, all right, and that's ultimately what they want you to do. Okay, all right. What is that? Revelation 13. All right, in verse 15. Okay, and if for those that don't get down with the image of the beast, all right, should be killed. All right, so you can literally be killed physically, or you can be killed by being cut off from society, cut off from living your life. Okay. Now this is from BBC.com. All right. It says, "What is the plan for digital IDs, and will they be mandatory?" Okay. See, it says the government has announced plans to introduce a digital ID system. It's like a digital ID system across the UK. See, and I'm pretty sure brothers have heard about this. Okay. It says with the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. All right. It says saying it will ensure the country's borders are more secure. See, why don't you just close the border? You see, I'm pretty sure there's so many other solutions that people have came up with inside of their head besides coming up with this digital ID. Okay. But it was already prescribed with this devil. Okay. Why? Because he's a sly. All right. He's a crafty devil. Okay. Which goes back into the Hebrew word arawam. Okay. All right. And to prove that, when you go, look, passive. All right. Arawam means passive. Right? Cunning, usually in a bad sense. See, cunning, usually in a bad sense. Okay. All right. So I want to go down here, right here. You see, as you can see, it says crafty. All right. And then look, it gives Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. And what is it talking about in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1? All right. Right here. Look, the fall of mankind. See, Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1, it says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh have made." See? All right. And that serpent, all right, is talking about Esau Edom, man. Okay. All right. The spirit of Esau Edom goes back to that serpent in the garden. Okay. All right. Same sly and slick spirit. All right. That we're reading about in the book of Job. Okay. All right. That crafty spirit, man. All right. Now, when you go into subtile, it's the same word. See, Hebrew, arawam, all right, which means subtile, shrewd, crafty, sly. See, cunning, usually in a bad sense. Okay, which proves that that wasn't an actual snake. Okay, it was a serpent like men. Okay, a snake like men. Okay, all right. You see, a deceiver. Okay, a devil. All right. You see, so going back here. All right, let's go back. I'm gonna go back to those precepts. All right. And that's not the only thing, man. Okay. That's not the only thing with this. Let me wait till this load up. All right. With this, the UK introducing this mandatory digital ID. You see, it says the IDs will not have to be carried day to day, but they will be compulsory if I'm saying that right. For anyone wanting to work. See, you can't work if you don't have this, man. All right. Which let me go ahead and get that because it's just pointing at Revelation chapter 13, excuse me. You know, so let me go ahead and pull that up. All right, and read that. You know, this is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15. Okay. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. The image is the way of life. Okay. All right. Notice he's changing everything around you. He's changing the way society looks, moves, and gets used. All right. That's the image. Okay. All right. It says that their image, it's like that the image of the beast should both speak. All right. Shall move forth. Right. And cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast. Right. You don't get down with the program. Right. Should be killed. All right. And it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, the whole spectrum of people on the planet, says to receive a mark or charagma, all right, the RFID chip, in their right hand or in their forehead. See, all right. So you're not gonna be if you don't get down with this new system, all right, and having a digital ID, all right, they're even talking about businesses, all right. Not even just the people that want to work, but even the businesses that they want to work for has to get down with this digital ID. Okay. It says the government says the scheme. Ooh, scheme, right? Doesn't that go back to crafty? All right. The word crafty goes back to the Hebrew word arawam. All right. Which one of the definitions is crafty. So like a scheme. Excuse me. All right. It says the government says the scheme will be rolled out. All right. By the end of the uh, parliament, okay, meaning before the next general election, which by law must be held no later than August 2029, which they're gonna implement it way before that. Okay, what are we in year 2025? That definitely, they have their agenda 30. So like they have their agenda 2030. Okay, so they want to get this thing rolling. Okay. All right, and to prove that, okay, you have this website, and I'm gonna keep referencing it. Okay, save this website. Okay, cbdctracker.org. Okay, as you can see right here. All right, today's central bank digital currency statuses. Okay, database update September 2025, news update September 30th, 2025. So it updates um, every couple of days. Okay, now, why is all the nations, as you can see right here on this map, all of these nations are moving toward, all right, the launch right here in blue, the launch of this central bank digital currencies. Why? Why? Now, in a minute, all of these nations are going to be blue, okay, or at least a majority of them are going to be blue. As you can see, some of them are already blue. Look, Nigeria already launched. You see, and right before it launching is the pilot stage, all right, which is the orange. And as you can see, so look, you got Russia, you got China, you got India. So all of these nations are ahead. Okay, you look, even the beasts, all right, NATO and the EU, okay, even these nations, all right, are orange, okay, and they're moving closer to launching that digital currency. And as you can see, America is behind. They're in the proof of concept stage. Okay. This is something I want to point out right here. Now, I noticed it right here. It says United States. Look, the digital dollar. It said it was canceled. All right. I wanted to read something really quickly, just really quickly. All right. Lord willing, this is edifying too. All right. But as you can see here, digital dollar. So they already planned on launching this digital dollar here in America back in 2020. What else happened in 2020? What else happened in 2020? You know what happened. All right, it says central banks, the U.S. Federal Reserve, right? Announcement year 2020. Status was canceled. All right. You see? Let me see. Something else I wanted to read. I'm gonna read a little bit of this. It says in description, in August 2020, the Fed published some findings of its Foo Wire trial. Okay, so that's what they were going to call it, Foo Wire. All right. It says which was developed using the Hyperledger Fabric blockchain software. All right, keep your eye on that word. Okay, blockchain. Okay. Says according to the central bank's researchers that trial highlighted the potential of DLT for certain payment uses. See, digital. I'm pretty sure that D means digital, right? It says the quick speed with which a system could be implemented, the potential simplicity of smart contracts, and the range of functionality offered by such platforms. See, and trust me, they're still going to do this. Okay, all right. They probably just pull it out because they want to sharpen. They want to polish this thing up. Okay, but they're definitely going to do this. Okay, all right. But why is all of these countries moving towards a central bank digital currency? All right, they're moving away from the dollar. All right, and its hegemony, and they're moving towards a central bank digital currency. All right. It's because of this. Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma, a RFID chip, in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, saith he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay. So that's what's going on. See, this is the ultimate pursuit of craftiness. Okay, this is their pursuit. This is their goal. Okay, they want to get everybody pierced. Okay, every single person pierced. All right. Let me see here. I wanted to get a preset. All right. Yep. Book of Isaiah. Isaiah 36. And straight to the point, just verse 36. All right. Because guess what? A lot of you people are gonna lean upon your oppressor, man. Okay, and you're gonna lean upon his broken reed. It's the book of Saint Isaiah, chapters 36, verse 6. Lo, thou trusteth in the staff of this broken reed. Okay, all right. And a broken reed, all right. When you look up what a broken reed looks like, okay, it looks like the end of a needle. Okay, all right. It says on Egypt. Well, Babylon the Great is called spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Okay, so this is talking about Babylon. Okay, ultimately, all right. Today's prophecy, okay, it's talking about Babylon. Okay, and that broken reed is going to be that needle, which is going to be the instrument used to insert that mark of the beast inside of you, man, or underneath your skin. All right, it says, whereon if any man, it's like if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. I'm going to that word pierce, naquab. All right, to pierce. All right, a point. Let's see. Look, to prick. All right, to prick. You see, that goes into that word karax. All right, which is the root word for charagma, which is the charagma is the Greek word for a mark. Okay, in Revelation chapter 13. Okay, look, to curse, blaspheme. See, all right. So you're not supposed to get that. All right, not supposed to lean upon that broken reed. Okay, which will go into your hand and pierce it. You see, all right. But a lot of you people will, man. That's why the scripture says, "Woe unto you that go down to Egypt for help." Okay, all right. Oh, another thing is this here too. All right, you thought it was just the UK. You thought it was just the UK. No. All right. Guess check this out. I typed in Google, what is Brit card? Brit as in Britain. Okay. What is the Brit card? It says the Brit card is a proposed mandatory. Oh, it sounds like the UK, don't it? Did not the UK make the digital identification mandatory? Huh? Look, let me read it again. Okay. It's talking about the UK. It says the IDs, all right, the identifications or digital IDs will not have to be carried day by day, but they will be compulsory, all right, for anyone wanting to work. See, it's gonna be mandatory. Okay, it's gonna be mandatory, man. All right. But look, even in Britain, a Brit card is a proposed mandatory digital identity card for all adult residents of the United Kingdom. See? All right. You see? Aiming to streamline right to work or RTW, right to work checks and help combat illegal immigration. See, that's their excuse. Oh, we're just trying to combat illegal immigration. All right. Wasn't America called the Great Melting Pot? Hell, all the countries of the Western societies, okay, including United Kingdom, right? You see that accepted all nations to mix and mingle within within its borders. Now all of a sudden, you guys want to combat illegal immigration. You see, all right. Let me see this here. This is how it's going to look. The Brit card, okay. All right. And see, look, with everything going digital, all right, the government is going to have more control over what you do. All right. When you do it, who you do it with, and how much you do it. Okay. Or if you even do it at all. All right. You want to work, you got to get verified. You want to buy things, you got to get verified. Okay. This is how it starts. Okay. But eventually, this digital identification will be inserted within your foreheads or your right hand or your right hand or your left hand. Okay. Yep. All right. And it's going to be in the form of that RFID chip. Okay. Right here. All right. Like a grain of rice. See that grain of rice? Boom. All right. It's going to be in your hand. All right. People are already walking around with this, man. Okay. So this isn't oh, that's ridiculous. That's a conspiracy theory, man. All right. Go ask those people in Honduras. All right. With those rich Edomites over there. All right. Bought up a half, damn near 1/3 of their land. All right. Look it up. Edomites bought up 1/3 of the land of Honduras. You see, and they're over there chipping everybody, man. You got people walking around. It's literally a chip community. People walking around with chips inside of their fingertips and their hands. You see, and even in their foreheads. And within that community, you can't do anything without a chip. You see, this is the devil, man. All right, and it's already people walking around with this thing. You see, that's that broken reed right there. Okay, that's that broken reed. All right, right, right there. You see that? See that piercing it within your skin? That's that broken reed right there. Okay, piercing that mark of the beast. All right, that chip within your hand. Okay. So St. Job chapter 15, verse 5, for thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. Okay. All right. What does the scripture say in the book of John? All right. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. Okay. It's talking about you Israelites, man. All right. You 2/3, man. Okay. All right. You chooseth the tongue of the crafty, man. All right. And you hate the tongue of the wise, you see, which is the men of the Lord. All right. The Israelites. It says, for thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. Okay. It says, so you choose Esau, man. You choose wickedness, man. All right. Men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. Okay. As it is written. The book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 3. All right. And this is a good chapter. All right. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. All right, who is the Lord's people? The Israelites, Yasha Allah, the princes of power, the sons of God. Okay, the chosen nation of God. All right, it says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. All right, because guess what? Illegal immigration. All right, guess what they're targeting? Jake. They're targeting Jakes, man. It says, and consulted against thy hidden ones. The hidden ones of the Lord are the Israelites. Okay. All right. And who took crafty counsel? All the heathen nations, man. Okay. Starting with Esau Edom. Because when you read down here, all right, verse 5, Psalms 83 and 5, for they have consulted together, for they have where for they have consulted together with one consent. They're all in agreement. Okay. They are confederate, all right, against thee. Salakia, let me read up. Salakia. Psalms 83 and 4. They have said, all right, all the nations, the heathens, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Okay. That's why us saying that we're Israelites, all right, you know, not claiming our cursed proverb and byword names that Esau Edom has given us, all right, but calling ourselves again the children of God, okay, all right, the chosen nation, all right, and calling ourselves the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all right, Israelites, all right, and from our tribe. They don't like that. They don't like hearing that. That's why it bothers them so much. We're not out terrorizing people and killing people, or we're not doing any of that. We're not harming anybody, all right. But it's harming their spirits, man, because they know once we stand on our feet, all right, they're gonna fall on their asses. Okay, and that's what you're witnessing, and that's why this devil, what is that? Revelation 12 and 12. All right, the devil will come down upon you with great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Okay, you see, it says they have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel, Yashra'Allah, may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent and agreement. All right. They are confederate against thee, all right, against the Lord and his people. All right. Check this out. Verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom, see, so-called white man, woman, and child, number one. All right. They're spearheading this, man. Why? Because Edom has that perpetual hatred, all right, for Jacob or Yasha Allah. Okay, Israel. All right. Then it says the Ishmaelites, all right, of Moab and of the Hagarenes. Okay. But I wanted to point that out, man. All right. That Edom, all right, and Ishmael, but Edom is number one. All right. He's spearheading the shit, man. Okay. That's why he wants to do it all, in the name of illegal immigration. Okay. The government says that the scheme will roll out by the end of the parliament, meaning before the next general elect. You see, the digital IDs will be used to prove a person's right to live and work in the UK. See, you got what kind of American are you? Because if you don't think that this is coming to America, you got another thing coming, man. Okay. I already showed you the map, man. Every country in the world, every nation in the world is moving towards this central bank digital currency. Okay. Everything is about to get digital. Okay. It says they will take the form of an app-based system stored on smartphones in a similar way. Well, remember, I made a lesson on that. They want you to throw away your phone because they want to come out with all the big tech billionaires, all right, Mark Zuckerberg and et cetera, et cetera. They want to come up, Elon Musk too, he was mentioned in that article, all right. They want to come up with a device, all right, where that you can get rid of your puny phones. See, they want to create a device, all right, to put underneath your skin or brain implants. All right. So look, it's going to start. These digital IDs are going to start on your smartphones, right? But then eventually it's going to be in a chip. Okay. It's going to be in this right here. All right. It says they will take the form of an app based system stored on smartphones in a similar way to the NHS app or digital bank cards. See, the information on the holder's residency, all right, status, name, date of birth, nationality, and a photo will be included. See, all that's going to be digital. Okay. All right. Announcing the scheme, Sir Kerr, or whatever, Keir, or whatever, said, you will not be able to work, all right, in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. See, it's as simple as that. See, they're gonna look. Esau's showing his horns, man. All right, this devil ain't taking no for an answer. Nope, we got to move, and anybody that don't want to move with us, you're gonna get put to death. All right, you're gonna get left behind. You're gonna get removed. All right, pushed out the way. That's how this devil is coming, man. But the Lord has it on his spirit to do that, man. Okay, let me get this right quick. All right, it's all through the spirit. All right, Proverbs 21. All right. Well, the white man and Trump is doing that, and that's his fault. It's it's the left's fault. No, man. Look, it's the Lord, man. The Lord is doing it, man. Proverbs 21:1. It says, the king's heart, and the modern day kings are your presidents, your Vladimirs, your kings, your princes. All right. Kim Jong-un and all of those are your modern day kings. The king's heart, and the heart is the mind. Okay. Right here. The mind. All right. Hebrew word lab, which means your mind. The king's heart, or his mind, is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh. Okay. The Heavenly Father, man. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Every way of man is right in his own eyes. All right. You might think that that idea was yours, Trump, right? Or anybody. All right. It says, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. Okay. The Lord controls the ways and the steps of man. Okay. So it's all of the Lord, man. Okay. But we know that the Lord is going to disappoint the crafty. Let me read it again. St. Job 5:12. He disappointeth the devices. All right. The devices. All right. The devices of the crafty. Okay. It says, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And what is that? Job chapter 20. All right. You see, while he is eating. Okay. Matter of fact, let's get that. All right. Let's get that. Let's see, Job chapter 20. I believe it's verse maybe. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I think it's down some. Yep, right here. Saint Job chapter 20, verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. All right, straits, not as in a straight arrow or a straight direction. No, but in a straits as in a position of difficulty. Talking about Esau Edom, man. And the fullness of his sufficiency. So the Lord's going to have him, jump this thing off. People are going to be, getting down with the mark of the beast and the beast system and the image of the beast. They're going to be worshiping the beast, right? They're gonna get down with this new program. All right, it says he shall be in straits, but then eventually he's going to be in a position of difficulty. Every hand of the wicked, all right, talking about the heathen nations, all right, not Esau, all right, shall come upon him. All right. And that's going to come via thermonuclear war. Okay. World War III. You see, when he is about to fill his belly, when he's about to complete his enterprise, right? Everybody's pierced. So everybody's connected to the AI database, right? It says Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. See? All right. So he's not going to be able to get to his ultimate or cap his ultimate enterprise, man. All right. By getting everybody pierced. All right. Pushing his draconian measures to get everybody pierced and worshiping him and his God, which is Satan. Okay. All right. But we know the elect ain't gonna do that. Okay. So I'm gonna end it there. Lord willing, this is edifying to the body and it fed the sheep through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rechakwadash, Shalom, and Abba Ball.